What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games. The best thing about the Steam Festival, I find, is that a lot of the demos get left up after the Steam Festival is over. And so I'm going to continue chugging through demos because apparently it has been a fortuitous season. Today we're checking out a title called Desynced. Desynced is kind of a curious game. It's playing around with some interesting ideas, and I don't know if it's ultimately going to get all those ideas pulled together, but if you're a fan of things like Dyson Sphere or Factorio or things of that nature, this is a game where you are building a drone mining base that is under attack by space bugs. I tend to stay away from a lot of automation games because if they don't have some kind of primary antagonism, like something that I'm defending myself from, I have trouble motivating myself to get to the next level. But in the case of Desynced, it does have that, so we're going to check it out. The thing that this game does differently is basically you have a whole bunch of different drones, and you don't actually set up conveyor belts and exerters and extruders and, extractors and all that kind of stuff. Instead, you have these drones and you make them wear different hats, and based on the hat that they're wearing, they will do different jobs, and all of the kind of insertion and all of the extraction is more or less automated based on the hat that they have on and what buildings need what. We're going to play for about 35 minutes today, see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise pass on. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, the game is available down below in the description. You can play the same demo that I'm playing right now to check in on all my thoughts. You're more than welcome to disagree with me. In addition to that, you can also look down below if you wanted to find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream in case you wanted to hang out live. I had to let my cat out. That's why there was an edit right there, as he was starting to holler in the background because apparently there was a door shut, and that's the greatest offense that he's ever had to suffer. Let's start a new game. We've got ourselves our seed. It doesn't look like actually what I was looking for is maybe I could disable the tutorial, because I already know how to play the game, but I guess it doesn't have a tutorial disable. That's fine. It'll give me prompts and things to talk about, because there is some minutia with this game. I think there's a little bit of a learning curve where you've got to kind of fiddle with stuff before you understand how it all works. I enjoy that kind of thing. I enjoy fiddling with things, but some people do not. So the first thing we got to do is skip through all the tutorials, and they want me to deploy my lander. This thing right here is basically an MCV. We can put it wherever we want. I would suggest putting it right there so that we have easy access to metal without having to expand the power grid, because there is kind of a grid layer that you're going to have to fiddle with. And as you can see, the building is just going to build itself. We also have some explorable objects around here that I can take a look at. Let's go ahead and get rid of all that stuff right there. And it wants me to equip the laser mining tool. Who has the laser mining tool? Our building over here has the laser mining tool. Now, everything in this game is drag and drop. This is basically my own personal heaven. You guys will know if you followed the channel for a long time. I'm a big fan of drag and drop UIs, and this game definitely has a drag and drop UI. The first hat that we can put on top of one of our drones is we can tell the drone to go put on the mining hat. And so then we go tell him to work on ore, and he will do that until further notice. And as you can see, his little cargo hold is now filling up with metal ore. It wants me to mine 20 of those, and then it also wants me to produce metal bars. But the big thing we want to do is we want to connect everybody to the logistics network. So basically, your drones in this game, they have two states. They have on and off. And that's with regards to the logistical grid that is around your base. If your drone is connected to the logistical grid, he will do the job that his hat dictates, but he will also, in between doing those jobs, try to move objects in between buildings. So if a building needs ore in order to function, he'll go grab ore from the miner and he'll bring it over. If another building needs metal plates in order to complete its production, he'll go get metal plates from the central building storage and take it over there. If he's not connected to the logistical grid, he will dog-brainedly just continue doing the job that his hat tells him to do. And some drones you're going to want on the logistical grid, and other drones you're not going to want on the logistical grid. Now, the next hat that we want to put on one of our drones is called the Fabricator. If we put the Fabricator on top of this little drone right here, it now gives him a production output. And I need to start producing metal bars. So let's go ahead and we will produce metal bars in perpetuity. And as you can see, he's already gone over here, reached deep down inside this other drone's butt without asking, and grabbed a whole bunch of ore, which he is now stamping out into metal bars. It wants me to produce 20 of these, so I'm just going to kind of let that happen and make an edit right here, because I'd like to I'd like to fit as much gameplay as possible into this experience rather than us just sitting around waiting for things to conclude. So now with our 20 bars almost concluded, what's going on with this UI? So down here you've got the health of each of your individual drones. You've got how much electricity they have stored. They run on a battery. When they're near the base, it has a grid around it for like the power lines. As long as they're inside the grid area, it doesn't really matter what their power is because they auto recharge. But this little meter is going to be important when they start leaving kind of the periphery of the base. The next thing we need to do is gather some crystals. So I'm just kind of going to do that manually. It looks like we've got a bunch of crystals scattered around the base here. So I'm going to do my best to grab that. There we go. Go grab some crystals, little buddy. There we go. Lots and lots of crystals inside the cargo hold. I'm going to throw these crystals inside the central building because we have too much storage going on now anyways. And then we need to swap over. We need to make ourselves an assembler, and that's going to require, it looks like, 10 of these little plates right here. Now, they do not manufacture interim stuff. So if I tell them to go straight for the assembler, they're not going to piecemeal put together all the plates and all that kind of stuff. They're just going to sit there and do nothing. They're just going to sit there and just be like, well, I don't know what to do. So we need to get the plates ready to rock first and foremost. And then once we've got all the plates taken care of, we should be ready for I don't know what this like dusty business is near my base. That wasn't near my last base. We do have a big crystal chunk over there, though. That's good. And we've got a whole bunch of explorable ruins. You can actually, like, salvage this stuff. There's little mini-games. You can salvage these, and they'll give you little buildings and hats and stuff you can put on your drones. They're called modules, but I call them hats. Now, when you click on a drone, every drone has different spots. So there's internal components. Those might increase. These are basically passive slots for different circuitry that make them do their jobs better. And then these right here with the S's and the M's and the L's, these are module slots, and modules of that size can go inside that area. How much did I need for the assembler here? I needed 10. I think we're good for the assembler. Go ahead and get me assembled. He should grab the crystals that he needs out of this building right here, I think. Yeah, there we go. He went and grabbed the crystals out of the building that we stocked up, and we should be... There is no inventory space for the assembler. Unfortunate. Throw that in there. Throw that in there. There we go. I love drag and drop inventories, dude. This game makes me so happy on such an OCD level. Like, this game is basically elation in OCD. Next thing that the game wants us to do is to advance down the tech tree. So we have our assembler. Unfortunately, the assembler is a medium slot. The only medium slot that we have is going to be on our main central building. So we can take this assembler and we can put it on right there. And look at that. Even the buildings wear hats. This game must have been a big fan of Team Fortress 2. And so we need to start setting up an assembly line. We need to make our first unit. We need to make a building. Buildings are basically hub points for single slots. And then we need an uplink. The uplink is a satellite dish that allows us to send and transmit data to start working on research. So, let's go with the buildings first. If we press the B key, it's going to open up this menu right here. I don't think we have any actual... Let's go ahead and we'll start making circuit boards because we're going to need a whole bunch of those. Let's get this guy going on creating... Well, we're going to have to micromanage this for a minute. Let's get him started on making bars. And once he's got like 20 bars inside of his inventory, we're going to start stamping out plates pretty aggressively because I think he needs plates and I think he needs crystals for this. So we have enough for 2 circuit boards, which should be enough for 2 buildings. The first building will probably make bars. The second building will probably make plates so that we can get rid of this little building on top of him and free up his hat to do other stuff. But for right now, unfortunately, we wait. And as you can see, now that I'm manufacturing plates, as he poops out plates, he's going to start taking them to the central building and just throwing them on into the assembler. So we should be good for a couple of circuit boards here before too long. There's our first circuit board. We need 2 circuit boards, though, to make this whole thing function and start making things actually, like, logistically cogent. So, as soon as that second one is done, what we will next want to do is we probably want to put in a building right there. And we probably want to put in a building right... Let's keep them segregated for right now. So we'll have all of our bar production. What I'll do is I'll leave, like, a row of 5 over here, just in case I need to ramp up the construction of our... Just in case I need to go crazy with the construction of plates and bars individually. I don't know if that's going to be necessary for right now, but it might be someday. Now, as you can see, we finally got all the plates and all the goodies put back together, so they have constructed our first building. We're going to slap a fabricator hat on top of this thing, and we're just going to tell it to print out bars. That'll make it so this little guy doesn't need to be micromanaged quite as much. And then we can set this to make plates, and as you can see, now we've actually got ourselves a production run happening. We need to put down another building over on the opposite side, and I think once we get done doing that, we should be able to build another building over on this side. It auto-extends the foundation. You can build custom foundations if you want to, but it seems like whenever there's a building, it fills every single adjacency with a foundation for you so that you don't have to spend a whole bunch of time micromanaging it. We'll probably want to get just a little gopher drone. Basically, that drone's job will be to fill in that bare bones. If you've ever played any like medieval colony sim, like Banished or whatever, he'll just be like a generic worker, and his job will be to move things around. You can rename all the drones if you want. So you can name this Mining Killbot 1 if you wanted to, and then you could name this guy Assembly Killbot 1. Like so that you have everything organized and you know what they all do. You can also change the names of buildings and everything else. So if you've got a little bit of an OCD bent where you like everything to be neat and tidy and in its order, this game will absolutely allow you to do that. I'm going to build another assembler over here. And in fact, it's going to take this little guy's hat right here, and we're just going to put it over here. And this guy is now going to produce plates. There we go. So now we have plate assembly going on. I also need to... Do we have enough crystals? We do not have enough crystals. Okay. Sounds like a plan. I got to go grab some more crystals. So let's take this little guy on an away mission. We'll see if we can grab some of the things that we need in order to build a few more PCBs and circuit boards, while also endeavoring to clear out the fog of war over here. We've got one crystal on that side. I think we picked up most of the crystals on this side, but these loose crystals can just be picked up by hand. You don't need like a mining laser or anything else like that to go grab them. Got a big stack of 6 right there. That's the good stuff. Give me the good grip of crystals. That's what I'm looking for. And now that we have the crystals, we'll take these back over here and we'll chuck them on into the central storage, and it'll start putting out more of our circuit boards. And so now we've got our first major production completed. Inside of this building, we will want to figure out what we want to craft next after we get some more of these circuit boards knocked out. The game obviously wants us to go with another drone just for the tutorial, so we will do that. I don't necessarily know if I need another drone in order to make the whole tutorial work. We may actually want to shut this down too. Go ahead and throw those. Oh, they've already been... Oh, look at that. Okay, so it reserves the items for its own crafting queue. He's trying his best, but he's distributing them one for one in between those 2 spots for right now. So it might take a second before we get the 5 together that we need in order to build this second drone. Hey, and there it is. It's now assembling our 3rd drone, which will be a good thing to have on hand. I probably won't attach this guy to the grid because I want to use him as just like a crystal grabber for right now. The next thing the game wants us to do is make our uplink, and that's how we're going to get access to the tech tree to get more and more cooler stuff. If I can bring back like 20 or 30 more crystals, though, that'd be great. Looks like there's some kind of sand or something right there, too. I don't know. Grab whatever crystals you can and then drag them on back to the base. I do like that it gives a little guideline that implies what these little guys are doing. And then with this assembler right here, just make me a whole bunch of circuit boards. That's pretty much all that I care about. What's up next for... What do I need next for the... Yeah, it's kind of what I thought. So for the uplink, I'm going to end up needing circuit boards. So we'll just start that out. Let's see if any of these are investigable. So we've got a disconnected circuit over here. So we can connect that guy right there. Connect that guy right there. This guy needs to go like so and like so. And then it looks like we need a metal plate in order to make this whole thing work. You go ahead and pick up some plates from the assembler, please. All right. So now that you've got the metal plates, we'll bring it back on over here. We'll transfer the item over. And it looks like it gave us access to a solar panel. So it looks like we can actually add that to a building, should we desire to do so. Or is it allowing me to produce it? No, I don't think we're producing it. I think that's the end product right there. And then we've also got some silicon, and it looks like we've got some circuit boards. So that's good. Can I actually, like, weasel this out a little bit and tell them to transfer it into there? I don't think it's going to work like that. All right, so what I need from you then is throw that in there. And then grab that silicon and throw that in there too. And does that clear out the pile, or does it stay there forever? I would like it if the pile got cleaned up afterwards. What does this one have right here? We've got another disconnected console. That's going to have to be like that, obviously. That's going to have to be like that. That's going to have to be like that. And there we go. We need some metal bars in order to make this work. I don't know if I have a metal bar. Metal bar production is going kind of slowly. I do have metal bars over there, but I'm pretty sure that they're, like, reserved. You detach from the overall logistical grid for a second and just kind of, like, let the bars pile up. You go pick up that bar, and you come back over here, and now you can go back to being on the logistics grid.
It is clear these structures were built.
So it looks like we got a portable radar, short-range detection of resources and objects in the world. All conditions must be met. Okay, and we've got another circuit board, and it looks like we have a high-density frame over there. I will say to take them all, but I don't know if that's actually going to make them transfer things over. Now that we've got a whole bunch of plates being produced that haven't really been moved around, let's put you on the logistical grid. And I want to... We've got 9 circuit boards. Okay, I think that's enough circuit boards. Let's go ahead and we'll make our first uplink so that that's all nice and done. And it looks like they're kind of just ping-ponging things around right now. We may want to get another assembler done over here. So let's go ahead and throw one of these bad boys together. And with this dude right here, with you, sir, I would like for you to make a... I think I need another assembler. So let's take you off the grid and go grab some crystals. It's going to take us a second to put this together because it takes a lot of crystals in order to build one of these. But I think doubling up on our bar production might not be a bad idea. Because it looks like almost all of the output from the bar production is going towards making sure that we have a never-ending supply of plates. So if I can just grab a few more from over here, although it looks like we're kind of running out, don't it? It's not a whole lot more crystals laying around. It's a little worrisome. I like how there's little details here, like when they're carrying crystals, they have like a little butt pouch that's full of crystals, or if they're like mining metal, they get a little butt pouch full of metal. I like it. So I want you to output a fabricator. Just like one fabricator, I think, should be fine. I will give you the crystals you require in order to make my next fabricator. And you quit doing what you're doing for a second and just spit out, like, yeah, just spit out a couple of bars. That way the bars end up over here. And then, oh, look, they have little inventory slots on each of the buildings, too. I didn't even notice. Nice, dude. See, this game has a lot of things that tickle my jimmies. I get to take adorable robots, and I get to make them wear hats. That's, I think, an important part of the equation. It also has the little representative inventories around. Oh, we made our uplink. Nice. That means we actually need to kind of, like, move this laser somewhere else so that we can put the uplink on this building. Otherwise, we're going to have a bad time. So, let's decide where we want to defend ourselves at. I would say maybe just kind of like plop down another building right there. And get that constructed. And then we'll put the turret on top of that, which frees up the medium slot for the uplink. There we go. Perfect. So now we've established a connection to outer space. And we can start researching things. Researching things costs you various resources, so it may cost you crystals, it may cost you plates. Basically, this is just a MacGuffin that they make you chase down in order to, like, move up the tech tree and get new things. Luckily, we have all the circuit boards and stuff that we need, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. We've got another assembler right there, so let's go ahead and put this all back together. I'll put the crystals inside of there because it makes life easier. You start making bars. You start making bars. And this guy should still be like chock-a-block with ore, if I know anything about this game. And so they should be spitting out like mad bars right now. I don't know if there's going to be a menu where I can set up like ratios of how many things I want to go to storage versus how many things I want to be used for production. Not too sure about that one. I would like to bulldoze that too. I was going to say, if you can move all that stuff over to central storage, that'd be great. I'd still like to be able to like bulldoze this thing too. All right, so basic signals deals with sending and receiving signals around your base. It allows your buildings and units to communicate information to each other across any distance. Combined with linking of registers, it is a power tool for the coordination and automation of your units. Now they want me to go ahead and knock out basic power. I can probably do that. We have like some crystals on board here, but it's only like 20. So I think I'm going to have to take one of these guys off the Logi grid, and we are going to have to track down some more free-floating crystal out here in the wilds. Luckily, it looks like there's no shortage of it, so we'll see if we can scoop up a little bit over here. Yeah, there's big old Tiberium piles all over the place. All right, let's bring this back on over, and we will tell them to throw it all inside of storage. If it gets these little hash lines, it means it's reserved by something. I don't know if that's going to be enough for us to finish out the actual production. We do have this photovoltaic cell over here. We should probably get that affixed to something and maybe start building a power grid somewhere. At least I would think that would be a smart idea. You go back to stamping out plates, which I forgot to set up. Now that you're back to stamping out plates, let's get another building built. How many more of these do I have? I have 2 more of those. Okay, so we've got to decide where we want the power grid to go. I would say let's just keep it nice and organized. We'll start the power grid in a row over here with the voltaic cell. So we'll throw that on in, and then this right here. How close are we on that research? Not that close, in all honesty. I think we're going to have to go fetch some more resources. Little robot that's not on the grid. Where are you at, little buddy? There he is. Little robot that's off the grid. Trying to find some crystals that we hid. Well, we brought back a decent bounty of crystals. Not like a huge amount, but some. Oh, look at that. We're maxed out on metal bars. Good. I got bars that go hard. All right, so we'll put those in there, and that should finish off the research, which will only take a couple of seconds. I don't think it's going to be that important. But I would also like to produce a few more circuit boards. Like, if I could have another stack of circuit boards, that'd be great. And then we'll set up the photovoltaic cell over there, which increased our power grid by 50. That's very, very nice. And then we've also got basic power over here, so it charges itself by consuming crystals, storing energy and supplies 150 to the power grid every second, but only when required. We've also got a light, so it makes things brighter. And then we've got a portable power field, so that will let us expand out. Is that a building? Oh, it looks like it actually gets mounted on top of a building. Okay. And now that we've got that done, they want us to do basic structures. So it looks like that's going to give me a medium slot, 1 medium, 1 small slot. And it looks like we can actually get a storage block as well, which would be fantastic. I was actually looking for that and wondering where it might be. We still got 15 crystals left. Let's take this little guy out to scout for a minute. I like his little headlight that he's got right there. It throws light. There's also little interactions where when your drones go through trees, the trees actually shake and wobble when they impact with them. Like that right there. Like, there's lots of little good details in here that make me think if they can actually get the logic of the whole thing to work iteratively so that the system doesn't end up tripping over itself and causing problems, I think they've actually got a solid chance with this one. One of the things you run into in indie gaming over and over and over again, most recently with Vampire Survivors, is that there's always kind of this gold rush after any genre is popularized. So Vampire Survivors, Factorio, Don't Starve, all that kind of stuff. And what you find a lot of the time is that a lot of them are just kind of like carbon copies, but worse, of the original idea. This right here is what I like to see. Like, how do you do Factorio, but different, basically? Like, how do we take Factorio and unhitch it from conveyor belts? Okay, well, I like the idea of drones and drone tending. So, like, what if we play around with that? And that's exactly what this game is doing. If I assemble, so we've got the 10s of those. So that consumes crystals. We are going to have to expand the power grid too. I do like the idea of some of these portable power grids that we can potentially make. So yeah, let's make like, I don't know, 5 of those just to make our domain a little bit larger. And it looks like that's going to need a ton of bricks. It's okay though, because we have mad metal bricks right now, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's not missing ingredients any longer. But the other thing we might consider is, how did I space that? I one-spaced it? All right. So I'll put this over here. And hopefully they'll drag and drop. I need you connected back to the Logi grid, please. There we go. We're going to need some help with some general carrying and like manufacturing and things of that nature. So they're making a couple of these, but each one takes up a slot. Is that a medium or is that a small? Oh, it's a module. Okay, so that's good to know. So chances are I can probably leapfrog that a little bit further out this way. Where's the closest crystal pile? Oh, there's our basic structures done too. Nice. Okay, so our closest crystal pile is probably over here. I would say that maybe it's not the worst idea to maybe put it like right here to expand the grid out a little bit further. That way we can start generating power from the crystals down here with the crystal miner. And then, let's see here. No active research. They want me to make reinforced plates. We haven't been attacked by the bugs yet. There are bugs in this game. I've seen them in the trailer. We have not seen said bugs yet, but they do exist, I promise. We will also put in maybe another turret right there. I don't even know if I can manufacture turrets. Can I manufacture turrets? Like, can I get basic defense? So we've got basic robotics, power transference. Is this guy done down here? Not quite. Oh, that's a medium? Oh, abort the construction on that. Apparently, my eyeballs were working wrong. Yeah, I just need like a 1 small right there. I don't need a medium right there. We just need to get this signal transmitter slapped in on this side so that it expands the power grid out in this direction. That would be ideally what I'm looking for anyways. And that guy's a medium as well. Apparently, I think it did. It made the leftmost a medium one before the leftmost was a small. Okay, well, let's put up a 2-space small right there. And we'll put 2 lasers on it to defend the base. And with our assembler, what kind of things can I make? Can I make a turret? I can make a turret. Go ahead and make me 2 turrets. I could use 2 turrets. I probably didn't need like a million of these right here. That was probably a mistake. Are you building that right there? Are we out of things? It actually looks like I have run afoul of my plate production. Rip. Rip-a-roonies. I'm going to have to build another building right here and then put another assembler on top of it so that we can produce even more plates. But for now, I think we just got to wait and watch. All right, so that's done. Let's go ahead and slot in a grid expansion. That one is almost done. Needs a lot more plates before it's going to be finished off. But our power grid is very, very minorly larger. What happens if I slap another one on there? Will it actually expand it by another 1? It does not look like it stacks. Creates or expands your power grid in an area around the unit, transferring power to nearby units. Produces no power on its own. Oh, I thought that would actually make our Logi grid bigger. Okay, so that doesn't do what I thought it did. What that does is it's basically a battery recharger for your drones when they're further out. Okay, we'll throw one of those in storage for right now. And let me see what I can build that actually does what I want it to do. It may not actually matter. Like, I may not need to actually expand it. It looks like it expands with the building, so I might be overthinking this and also over-engineering this. Let's go ahead and we will make circuit boards until further notice. I also need another stamper. Although I guess I'm kind of being inefficient right here. I could build the doubles. They do take a lot more resources, though. I'd rather just keep things organized. I bet it comes down to power drain, as I bet the 2 slots probably use up less power than the 1 slots. Or something. Something to incentivize doing what I'm doing right now. So it looks like visibility range is 15, 4 storage slots, 1 small slot, 1 internal. Actually, I think the power drain is probably dictated by whatever hat the building is wearing. All right, you produce plates. And that should gift us with basically a very, very large supply of plates. That's what it looks like to me anyways. We also need to get a storage yard going. Is the storage yard, so we've got a building right there. The storage block takes 2 of our... Oh, I thought it would be bigger than that. I'm going to build one just to see what happens. But anyways, the storage block will help out with kind of the stopgap that we have over here. Do I have to set up what kind of storage this thing has inside of it? You can request bars. Can I have, like, multiples? Does it matter? Or is each one only for 1 resource? Because he'll take plates, too, if you guys want to move plates over here. We may need a few more logistical drones, too, while we're in the neighborhood. How hard's it going to be to stamp out another drone or two? So we've got low-tech bots, mount a single small component, mount a single small component, and have a single inventory. Oh, wow, you need a bunch of stuff to make those little guys right there. The power bots. Okay, well, just make me, like, another 2 workers. I am more or less okay with 2 more workers. And we'll get them hooked up to the Logi grid. That way things are going a little bit faster. And then down here, how big is the crystal mining thing? Like, how much effort is it going to take for me to get the crystal miner? So crystal power is a small piece. Okay. Just produce 1 of them. That's fine by me. And then you get hooked up to the logistical grid. And you get hooked up to the logistical grid. You've got 4 inventory slots. So I want you to go gather crystals. I don't know where my last pile of crystals was at. Last pile of crystals was around here somewhere. I'm trying to hold on long enough that you guys can see like a bug attack. Because I want to see a bug attack. But I don't know if it's coming on in. Or if there's like a hold on violence right now. That my little robots are not allowed to witness the depravity of war, life in the trenches. Although I do like the idea of putting little turrets on top of my drones and using them as little warriors. Like arming the workers. Yeah, dude. Grab a few more crystals. And now that the crystals have been grabbed, let's take it on back. I bet you it's time-based, like when we get attacked by the enemy. Because we're only on day 3 right now. We've been playing for like 40 minutes. They're probably giving the player a decent runway because they know their game has a little bit of a fiddly UI that you've got to play with. So they're probably trying not to put too much pressure on the player. All right, you have all your crystals. Are you happy now? Hey, there's my little crystal miner. Okay, so let's take... I can actually, like, disassemble you, I think. Oh, we've actually got an ore throughput problem. All right, give me another worker. I'll just take 1 more worker. We're not getting enough ore. We have loads and loads of plates. Apparently, I continue to be really, really bad at this automation stuff. Alas. Although I guess technically there's an argument to be made that I could just automate all this mining. Like I could put a platform over here and just tell it to mine. Let's do a 2 small over there and kind of see what it does with it. And then on this side, we can go for 2 little mining lasers. There's 1. Sure. Make 2 of them. That would be very, very helpful. I don't think we're going to have the crystals to make 2 of them, but I'm going to try. The mining platform will help this little guy out with his job to make sure that we have loads and loads of ore coming in. Storage block is now built. Don't really need the storage block so far. I would say request plates for this one, like a infinite quantity. That way it gets it out of the outputs at the bare minimum. I think we're going to need more drones. You can also micromanage these drones. There's a bunch of things that I haven't played around with, like the signal register, the visual register, the home register. Basically, like, they all do different stuff, but they haven't been necessary while I was fiddling around with the game. And we've got a... Where's my laser at? Did you produce that laser? I need you to make that laser there, bud. That's what I need from you. I can also kind of pull the laser off this guy's head and put it in over here. And then I can tell this laser to just go after... Hold on. Inventory items. Yeah, go after metal ore in infinite amounts. There we go. I don't know what his range looks like. But hey, seems to be working okay. Doesn't seem to be struggling to get the job done. There's our second little laser right there, so we'll tell somebody to pull this laser over to here. And so now we should have 2 lasers that are going after ore in infinite quantities. And that should last us a good long while. They don't have like a huge amount of inventory space, but I think it'll be enough of an inventory to kind of like get our outputs going, because our outputs be kind of weak right now. 20 plates. This over here. Request infinite quantity of bars. Good. Now I need more crystals. Actually, I don't need more crystals because we got our 2 lasers by hook or by crook anyways. Unfortunate. One of my little robots has died in the line of duty. Duty. Anyways, do I have another portable field? Yeah, put another portable field on him. We got to go transfer elect. We got to go do like a little drone. Oh, I see that possibly making everything. Did he already equip it? Oh, he did. Okay, good. Let's see if the portable power field wakes this little dude up. Hey, it did. There we go. We gave him a tight little res. He's all right. He's all good. Now he's bringing back the goodies so that we can get the crystal power up and running. I'm going to suggest on future builds that we like triple space these little corridors maybe, so that the bots have room to go around one of another. I think that's kind of like where we're stuck right now. Either way, I need like one of these bots to do a thing. So how does the power grid look over here? I don't know if that's going to take us out far enough. I might be trying to like ham-fist this thing in a way that I should not be ham-fisting this thing. I don't know, make the crystal mining thing. Do we have the crystal mining thing? Yeah, there we go. Put that on there. Alright, so with this little crystal hat, we're going to throw that over there. And my guess is that this is not attached to the overall grid. Let's see here. Charge itself by consuming crystals, adding grid every second, but only when required. Oh, so it's not going to kick on until we actually have a power deficit. Well, that's good to know. That's a good little piece of information to be aware of. Let's get another small slot. So, like, where is that going? Right there. Portable power field goes down to there. So it's like that little corner right there. I don't know if I'm doing this properly. I may be really, really ham-fisting something that's much more simple than it looks. Are the 2 lasers helping? Are we keeping ourselves stocked on ore for right now? It looks like, in fact, we are keeping ourselves stocked on ore. Good. What other technologies do we have that we can research? So it looks like I need reinforced plates to get to the next tier. So let's think about reinforced plates. The assembler makes those. So we should actually have these ready to go. It looks like it takes a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I don't think we need that many more plates. I think we're probably good on the sheer volume of plates that we have right now. So I'll probably swap one of these over to just manufacturing bars. It seems like we need a lot more bars than we need plates. And then for you, sir, put that in right there and just kind of like see what happens. It is now slotted in. Unfortunately, we are still one too far away. Interesting. I don't even know if I'm doing this properly right now, in all fairness. I don't even know if this needs to be hooked up to the central grid. These might just be charging stations for the drones as they come down this way. It's kind of hard to say, in all fairness. But yeah, this right here is Desynced. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I'd still like to see a bug attack, but I don't know exactly when said bug attack is going to take place. That's the part that I'm a little bit on the ringer about right now, is like, when do we get jumped by buggies? Really wants me to build this radar too. Like, it's actually like being kind of a pain about it. If I wanted to do the portable radar just so it leaves me alone, can I build one of those? I don't have any circuit boards. I need more circuit boards. All right, that means I've also got to take a drone out on a fun-filled adventure to go get crystals and make them the happiest drones in the world. Oh shoot, we found something spooky along the edge of the map. Interference is too high, you cannot move into the blight. Okay, so like there's definitely... Oh, there's blight crystals too. What is this little guy doing? Is he just like picking up the crystals that we need in order to do production? Look at you being a go-getter, man. Look at you being all good at your little robot job, being the brobot of brobots, doing extra labor. You didn't even contact your union rep before you did it. You just up and atomed it. I'm proud of you, G. I'm proud of you. Although really, you should probably get compensated for your work. I feel like my robots are all compensated for their work more or less by being given electricity to just kind of like chow down on, and then also fun-filled hats. Is that producing now? It is definitely producing. We have circuit boards coming on in. I just want this portable radar because I want to see what happens once I get one. I'm still not super sure what all this stuff does. They seem to go track down jobs independent of how far they are away. So like all of my initial thoughts were like they could only act on things that were inside the signal grid. But no, they just went and grabbed crystals that were halfway across the planet for assembly. So like I'm actually a little bit vexed about what this is actually going to do for me. I don't know, throw it onto a robot. Huh. It looks like he just like scans things down, like he's scanning for metal right now. If I go over by some crystals, will he detect them? I don't know. Interesting. Short-range detection of resources and other objects in the world. All conditions must be met. Interesting. I don't know exactly what that's doing for me. My thought was that you had to have the portable radar slapped onto a building scanning down resources in order for it to relay the order for drones to like interact with those resources. But I don't know. Definitely a little bit more explanation needed. Something a little bit less clinical and something a little bit more colloquial inside the description of what this item does, I think would be appreciated. But yeah, this is Desynced. I hope you guys liked it. I did want to show off a bug fight. But the best I can do is show you that there is an area that the evil bugs live inside of called the Blight that's over there, and you do get attacked by bugs from all the trailers and stuff I've seen, but we've held on for like an hour now, waiting for the bugs to attack, and there hath been no bug attack. And so, this is Desynced. I think it's playing around with some interesting ideas. I don't necessarily know if it's the type of game that I would ever really play, just because I'm not big on like assembly line type stuff, but there is a massive community out there of people that do enjoy these types of things, so maybe they'd like to check it out. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye, folks.